Hi, my name is Jason Langa. I am a painter and a printmaker as well. I've actually been painting only for 4 years. Before then, I was a pencil artist. I've been a pencil artist my whole life, and then one day I decided that I wanted to challenge myself and try something new, and painting was that thing that I tried. And I went for oil painting because people say that was the most difficult one apparently. But I jumped into it and it stuck with me ever since, and it allowed me to express myself in ways which I couldn't with just the pencil. So yeah, we've been painting for 4 years, going on 5, and yeah, it's been a beautiful journey so far, and I'm excited to see where else I can go from here. So yeah, that's me. So I started making art initially as a hobby, just like every other artist, musician. But it wasn't up until grade 10 when I had my visual arts teacher who told me about her experience, or one encounter where she sold a painting of hers for a particular amount. And that was when I was like, I could actually take this and make it into a career, because as much as it is very much a passion for me, and it is very much something that I feel like I was called to do. I think at the same time I did want to make sure that I can actually do it for the long run. So yeah, the straight answer to that question is that I started making art because it's something that I was always drawn to. I think it being the kind of person that I am, very timid, very, very to myself, I think that was one way I could sort of express myself, because words, they became few and far between in some cases. So I was able to use my art as a way to communicate certain things, and just as a way to have fun and express myself. So yeah. I think for now, my proudest moment is 2019 when I was called or scouted by a curator to be part of an exhibition where at the time it was at Mangrove. So the curator was an upcoming artist like myself, and it was the two of us alongside with another artist. So it was a group show of 3 artists, and we had a whole panel discussion there. And I think what I was proud of the most was the fact that was the first time I actually framed a drawing, and that was also the first time I actually sold. I think I sold 2 of my pieces on that day. So I think that further instilled that belief in me that this can actually work. So yeah, I was very proud of that whole exhibition. Yeah, there's a lot of things. I play ball, I go out with friends, but I think the one that sticks out the most to me is the fact that I like to listen to music a lot. So I'm a big music fan, and I think that ties well with my creativity, because whenever I'm creating, all I need is just a good playlist, and I can find myself sitting 5-6 hours painting, only to realize afterwards that whoa, so much time has passed. So yeah, I think music plays a very big role in my creative process, and being the avid listener that I am, if I'm not making a painting, maybe I'll just be listening to music and making playlists and sharing those playlists, because yeah, good music must be shared. So yeah, I think good music, listening to music is very much that thing that helps me to create outside of painting. I think when I'm at my happiest, I'm sort of expressing that joy through my work and expressing that joy through myself, because I'm in a state where I can sort of take that positivity and sort of bunch it up into one emotion, and sort of if I'm choosing to paint on that day, then I can take that emotion, because my work is very emotion based, so I can take that emotion and sort of translate it through whatever piece I'm painting. So yeah, I think I very much enjoy whenever I'm creating from a place of a joy, from a place of abundance, because then it'll show through my work that I was in such a state. The same way, if I'm in a bad space, it'll show through my work that I was in such a state. So yeah, I think whenever I'm in a good space, then I like the fact that it can translate through my work as well. I think the biggest challenge I've faced so far, I think it was back in 2019, and at the time, this is my second dropout. I dropped out of Boston Media House, and I decided, let me just take a break from Joburg. So I was in the Northern Cape for the first half of 2019. And during that time, obviously, I was working a 9 to 5, all that bad stuff. So, and when I was there, I was plagued by this, this thoughts of like, is this gonna be my life forever? Is this like where I'm gonna end up, and so on and so forth. So, I had to sort of like, I think that was the biggest test I faced, and I had to persevere and endure through the first half of 2019 so that I could like, get to where I am right now. So before I left the Northern Cape, I made a decision to myself that like, okay, I'm going back to Joburg, and when I go back to Joburg, we're going to take this thing very seriously, and we're going to put in all the effort we need to put in to make sure that this thing works out. So I came back in July, and that's when I applied to Artist Proof Studio, where I ended up graduating, and ever since then, we've just grown immensely. So the challenges definitely will be there, but I think it's just a change of mindset and knowing where you want to be, and that's where you get to where you want to be. I think I am already sharing my passion in a meaningful way just by the simple act of being able to create, which I don't take for granted, because there's a lot of people who want to do certain things but they can't for whatever reason. So I think I am already sharing my passion in this way, and I think what I'm always trying to show people is that like, don't be afraid to feel, because there's a lot of things that we take for granted in the world, and it's like the smallest things that really makes us human beings that we don't, sometimes we shun upon them and we don't really want to experience them fully. But just the simple act of like, just that feeling that a sunset gives you, or laughing with friends, like just the smallest things, are the things that I'm trying to show people that like it's okay to experience these things, because at the end of the day, these are what makes us human. Just like in my work, I'm sort of like encompassing and navigating the human experience and reminding people what it is to be a human being, because I think life will always try to like throw things at us, and we have to develop thick skin and so on and so forth, but that only ends up taking away from what we're supposed to be. So I'm trying to just remind people that we need to go back to what we actually are and embrace that feeling. Obviously, resources will always be a struggle, but if there was no limitations to what I could have, I think the first thing I want to do is just have like a solo show, which I would spend maybe like a year or two creating like a good solid body of work in which I'm able to explore, I'm able to experiment, I'm able to try other mediums, because I have the means to try other mediums, because like art is like super expensive. So if I didn't have to worry about creating, I would take all my opportunities to learn, to grow, and then all of that will culminate into one big retrospective solo show in which I'm able to express all the things that I want to express through all the mediums that I've experimented with. What I would say to other visual artists is just to honor your journey. Our paths are very different, and as much as like we have people that we look up to, we have to remember that that was their path, and we can't expect our path to be exactly the same as theirs. So obviously we get demotivated whenever we feel like, a certain thing isn't happening the way it happened for my idol. But I think I just want to remind people that like, you need to honor your journey and stick to your path, because someone else behind you will look up to you, and there's always people looking at you, watching you from afar, and it's just about you honoring your journey and sticking to your journey, staying consistent, working hard, also just respecting the community that you're at, because I believe as creators we need to put a big pin on community, because we need to support each other at the end of the day. I don't think it's possible for someone to just wake up and just say, I'm going to do this by myself. You can only get so far if you do it by yourself. But if you're part of a community, you can get so much further than you initially thought for yourself. So just honor your journey, respect your craft, keep your community close, and I think what I'd say to myself 5 years from now is that just keep going, and I'm almost there, or you're almost there, and we're at that point where a lot of things are aligning in ways that I never imagined, and it's just about taking that final step. And I'd also just send a big reminder to myself that it's going to get super hard now. Only once we get over this big hurdle, that's when we'll sort of like experience all the efforts, or all the the results of the hard work that we've been putting in. So yeah, we're literally almost there. Hi, my name is Jason Langa and I am on Pulse.